we're going to go to Lisa Murkowski, who was saying, again, some revealing, clear headed things about this whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. But what I want to talk to you guys more fully as we get through this is how she's also realized that Donald Trump has played her. So I'm really trying to figure out why she thinks she's going to get anywhere with these types of comments.
Do you believe that the administration has let this get out of control? How do you see this?
You know, I suppose it's easy to do after action and to be critical from where we're sitting. But it seems to me that it has occupied all of the airspace here in Washington, D.C. You just saw the House go out because they didn't want to deal with that. The president is trying to move to other news, but that doesn't seem to be holding. Everybody is occupied by this. And in the meantime, we've got serious work that we need to be finishing up here in the Senate. We're in the midst of appropriations right now. Just deal with the Epstein thing once and for all. I think if they had done it earlier on and moved on to other things, maybe we wouldn't be in this place where everyone is now thinking about, you know, what's the next big conspiracy behind all this. So it's really easy to be critical and say they should have done it, but it sure would have made things easier on the legislative front if the Congress weren't being swept into this whole swirl.
That sounds like you think they should just release everything.
Just be done with it. Be done with it. If in fact there's no there for the president, get it out there. Just get it out there and be done.
Just get it out there. If there's no there, get it out there. Sounds like common sense things. She even talked about the Congress plan to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell and whether or not she's going to be a trustworthy witness. Again, Lisa Murkowski's on point, isn't she?
You do write so much in your book about hearing stories of sexual assault from women in your home state, and you write very candidly about that. It's one of the most probably gripping parts of the book. You obviously write about your vote when it came to Justice Brett Kavanaugh. But you know what the White House is doing now is they're sending the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to go meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was obviously convicted of child sex trafficking. Some women, some girls, I should say, as young as 14 years old. Do you think that they would be better served by talking to the victims rather than the woman who was helping Jeffrey Epstein sex traffic these young girls?
I think if what they're really trying to do is to convey how awful these crimes are, then yes, you do not have it be presented in what some would say or suggest is a one-sided way.
Yeah, you don't. Do you find her credible?
I don't know that I find her credible.
Took her a minute to get to that point, that this convicted 20 years sentenced woman who was a part of a child sex trafficking ring, she's trying to figure out if she's credible or not. I mean, I guess all criminals can eventually fess up and start telling the real truth. But considering she's completely intertwined with all these folks who are complete liars that are running the country, there's no reason to. Anyways, so she's still saying, I guess, correct things. She even has one more clip here when she's talking about how this is so disruptive to Congress. This is a big deal that leads to what it is that she had to go ahead and admit to.
Does it give you any pause with the reporting tonight that he was told his name is included in it? That doesn't mean that he did anything wrong, but do you think that is a factor in why they have been hesitant to put more information out there?
So hard to determine what may or may not have been a factor. But I don't think it's any secret. Certainly the president has not made it a secret that that years and years ago, he was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and that was a time prior. They had a falling out, and there has been no engagement since. But you know, so if there's really nothing there, again, just put it out. Get this behind us. What you're seeing happening now is the country is talking about this. Well, at the same time, the Congress has so much work that we need to be doing. We don't need to be caught up in the chatter about what is in, what is not in, but we can't get to it because of this. I view it as a political distraction, and I think if the administration wants to get beyond it, if President Trump wants to get beyond it, just get this stuff out there and let's move forward.
It's a distraction. Congress can't get the important work done. What kind of work is Congress doing that has anything to do with, getting work done outside of just, kowtowing to Donald Trump and doing whatever the hell it is that he wants. The work that they needed to get done, he doesn't need them anymore. He got his bill passed where he can steal more money in every kind of way possible from the American people. Her job is done for him. He doesn't need her. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you why he doesn't need her anymore, and maybe a revelation that she then had. Remember Lisa Murkowski? Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska was one of those last deciding votes that gave Republicans in the Senate their win to go ahead and send that bill back to the House, who, of course, is going to rubber stamp that whole thing and send it as a law up to President Trump to do what he's going to do. Remember, she was talking about how she didn't really like that bill, but she did it because they were going to give some incentives to people in her state, and she had to take it. She had to take it. She hated the bill, but she had to take it. Let's see what came of that. Ahead of the bill's passage earlier this month, Murkowski had co-sponsored an amendment to ease the phase-out of tax credits for solar and wind energy under the Biden-era Inflation Reduction Act. She wanted to ease that phase-out of those tax credits. The Trump administration, of course, wants to get rid of all those things. Her measure would ensure a 12-month window for clean energy projects, which would end in 2027. These tax credits would help to alleviate a looming energy crisis along Alaska's rail belt, the electrical grid that serves roughly 75% of the population of the whole damn state. That's due to these declining resources of natural gas. Trump threw a wrench in that agreement Friday when he issued an executive order to end market distorting subsidies for green energy projects. Now, this order directs the Scott Bessent to take actions to strictly enforce the termination of the clean electricity production and investment of tax credits. So that deal that she got, he came in and said, "Hey, Scott, I need you to axe that whole agreement that we told Lisa Murkowski that if we give that to her, she should be on board to sign off on this bill that she openly said is a disaster for the country, except for the people in her state." Well, now those people in her state that she sold out for, they're not getting it either. There's a lot more. I have a lot of reading to give to you guys. Now, Murkowski claims that she and her pals were duped. Do I feel like the administration was not being upfront with us? Yes, is what she told the Anchorage Daily News. The administration wasn't upfront with her. I wish there was someone who had Trump derangement syndrome during the campaign, since this guy first walked into politics, that could have told you that Donald Trump never honors his deals, that Donald Trump leaves people hanging, that Donald Trump goes into a city, destroys things, leave garbage and trash everywhere, has police forces come out and give him some kind of protection, and then he leaves them and doesn't pay the bill. He stiffs people all the time. I feel like he's almost bragged about it because that's a good businessman. But in this case, as he stiffs her, she's worried and doesn't understand why this happened to her because, she was working for her people. More quotes. Lisa Murkowski went on to tell the Anchorage Daily News, "I feel cheated. I feel like we made a deal and then hours later, a deal was made to somebody else." I'm going to run through these. There's more. This is embarrassing for her. She torched Trump's order as reckless, claiming that it directly goes against what he signed into law earlier this month with the budget. We already know that. We know that already, Lisa. We told you actually that that's what was going to happen, just like everything else that's happening. So maybe starting at this point, like start right now, like late July. Start now as we go into the weekend. Start now, and so when someone tells you that Donald Trump is who he said he is, or I'm sorry, is lying when he doesn't say exactly who he is, start believing it because you just got played. Is she going to go in front of cameras? Is she going to have a press conference? Is she going to have a recorded message on her Twitter account where she says, "I remember I told you guys that I agree with, that I'm just trying to stand up for my constituents, that I don't like this bill and I know it's going to harm a lot of Americans previous to this. I knew this, but I switched up on that and trusted Donald Trump. And now that he played me, I'm never going to trust him again." Is she going to say that? Is she going to say, and since I don't trust him anymore, all of the people of Alaska also shouldn't trust him because he played you too? My commitment to stand up for you and give middle fingers to the rest of the country was also returned as a middle finger right back to me. Therefore, going forward, I'm going to start off by not being a gullible piece of garbage that doesn't understand when someone's playing me as they've done their entire life. I'm going to finally figure it out. I'm going to finally see the guy who's a liar is a liar. And going forward, I'm going to stop being lied to. Not because my ego's bruised, which obviously it is. Not because of that, but because my job is to represent the people of this state. And as I was fooled into this agreement, I'm no longer representing the people of this state.